These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I am Marlin Wells, alongside Nathan Folsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are ya?
You know, I am watching the Minnesota Vikings piss away a football game, which, you know, I'm kind of gives me a comfort. It's a reliable. It's like an old pair of shitty shoes.
Yeah, it feels like home, right?
Yep, exactly. There's no pressure of rooting for a team that's worth a shit, so I can't complain. As Sundays ago, this isn't so bad. I'm surrounded by beverages. I'm very underdressed for the visual for some of the. We got a subsection of fans that they just like knowing two beefy boys are in a state of undress talking about The Simpsons. They like what we're bringing to the table, so I'm gonna help them out a little bit, paint a clearer picture.
I'm rocking some navy blue Adidas basketball shorts and a sleeveless hoodie.
I am wearing a very worn-out pair of Hanes boxer briefs that have gotten so loose and beat up. They're more leaning boxer than they are brief at this point. Get a little pretty loosey-goosey.
Just hanging.
They're kind of like, oh man, they're reminiscing about like wearing giant jeans in the summer with boxers when you're like high school age. Just get that ball of cotton right near your genitals. Like, that's what you want. That's what you need. a scarf around an area that sweats too much to begin with. Let's heat it up.
Yeah, let's get the same feeling my chin gets in a turtleneck, but around my dick. Let's do that.
How does that sound?
Horrible. I've never been a boxers person. I don't like them. They bunch. There's chaos. I am a long-legged boxer briefs man.
See, yeah, I don't mind them. I guess I know when I purchase underwear, I often go boxer brief, but a comfortable. I remember like in high school and even early 20s, like the cheaper underwear was made out of like dress shirt fabric. Like, who's demanding this? Like, just with no give at all. Like,
why is there a collar on this? A stiff collar with those weird pointy plastic inserts.
Yeah, get starched legs. Oh my God, it was awful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm strictly. I need some hug, but not too much hug.
Yeah.
I have very fussy genitals, is what I'm saying.
I've read about that online.
It's my favorite porn category, fussy genitals.
No. I'm going to crawl back in.
No, I didn't sign up for this.
Nope. See you next summer.
I'll wait to hear your counter offer, and they just leave in a huff.
And it just ends with you shrugging your shoulders. The camera closes in on your face. It does what it wants to do.
Not up to me. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Well, guess I'll be going.
We are gathered here on this fine Sunday to vaguely have the football scores running in the background, so I know what's going on in my survival league. Go Browns. And to talk Simpsons, Nathan.
The Simpsons, it's a show, man. It's on TV right now. I mean, not this minute. I mean, probably, I guess, if it's syndicated somewhere, but
I assume that it's on somewhere right now.
Yeah, that's probably
Has
true.
to be.
It's a big, beautiful world we live in. Somewhere someone's watching The Simpsons, watching a rerun.
We watched some Simpsons this week.
We did 5 episodes worth. And the first of these is episode 19, Lisa's Wedding. Starts, the Simpsons are at a Renaissance fair, doing Renaissance fair type things. I am really learning to love kind of goofy, uncool mom Marge moments. Like when Bart is definitely not impressed with the Renaissance fair, and Bart's like, "Oh look, a loom!" And she fires up that loom and she makes that thing that says, "Hi Bart, I'm weaving on a loom."
Yeah, with like flourish around it, like flowers and shit.
Like it reminded me when she told Bart to bring that potato to show and tell. Like, I don't know. I just think they're neat.
I just think they're neat. Yeah.
So
Marge is great.
Yep.
You ever been to a Ren fair?
No, I have not.
Neither have I.
And I think part of me is like, this is lame, but part of me is the less self-conscious I get about myself, I could find a way to enjoy it. I'm sure there's enough goofy shit that you can find to kind of preoccupy yourself. And I like eating turkey legs. That seems to be a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to be like I don't know that I think they're lame. I just don't like being in the sun or around people. So
yeah,
I don't know
right.
what
They're
it has
outdoorsy.
to offer me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to go stand around with a bunch of people and get a sunburn and mosquito bites? It's like, no, not really.
You know, behind a fucking Office Max somewhere in an open lot. Like, no, I'll
like
pass.
I'm sure the food is good, and it's probably cool to see what the blacksmith is doing. But at the same time, I'm fine. I'm fine at home. I got food at home.
I've always been more of a future guy than a past guy. Like I never got into fucking like Lord of the Rings type shit for that reason. I like a lot of that kind of stuff. I never had a big ninja phase. Or samurai shit. I never thought that was all that cool. I've always been more of like a Terminator. Like I want robots with guns in their heads. Like, that's the kind of shit I enjoy.
Seeing castles and shit never appealed to you.
Castles always seem dorky to me. Yeah, that's why I struggled to get into Game of Thrones, because I just assume it's got elements of that.
Sure, it's probably hard to enjoy fantasy fiction if you're not into the setting.
Nope.
It's like trying to like a band if you don't like the singer.
Yeah, very good point, man. There's a few bands that are like that.
Yeah, like it's tough to like a band if you don't care for the front man's voice. So I get it. I was that way with Guns N' Roses for a long time as a kid until I was like, oh wait, this is actually fucking dope.
Yeah, I get that lights when that switch gets flipped for certain bands. Like, okay, I'm fucking up. These guys are good.
Yep. And it happens sometimes where like you're just don't like them, and then one day it clicks.
Yeah, I was that way where I finally, you know what? I really like you too. I know it's not cool. He's a dork. He's always wearing sunglasses. God
and
damn
a
it, they got
cowboy
some
hat
bangers.
sometimes for no reason.
Ooh, the Edge. The Edge followed the poor advice of when you look sad and middle-aged, even though you're only 29, put on a silly cowboy hat. No, that just accentuates your patheticness.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the U2 at all. I don't mind New Year's Day, and that's about it.
Yeah, see, I'm a believer. So they're at the Renaissance Fair. They're doing Renaissance things. Homer, this glutton of himself. Was it the ye old stomach pump is referenced at some point?
Yeah, he's got like a whole ham leg that he's walking around with.
And there's a great scene where there's like the Chief Wiggum has like the mystical or mythical animals section, and it's a half pig, it's got the head of a horse or the head of a dog and the body of a dog.
Yeah.
That's just a dog.
I love that old carny shit. That old like vaguely freak show type shit.
The last time I was at the North Dakota State Fair, some of my friends paid $1 to go see a half man, half snake. I'm going to tell you, Marlin, it wasn't a half man, half snake.
What? It wasn't?
It was a man with sunglasses on with a snake tail glued to the back of his head, and his head was sticking through like a table with a hole in it. Prepare to be amazed. Like, I don't know if amazed is the right adjective here.
Damn it, carnies, you got me again.
God damn you, carnies. So Lisa is looking at the animals, and a bunny gets loose, and Lisa chases after the bunny, because that's what kids do. They like bunnies. They like chasing bunnies.
Yeah,
ends
bunch
up in
of
the
bunny
woods.
chasers.
Yep. Ends up in the woods and finds a very dark, ominous-looking tent, and it has a fortune teller in it, and we find out, I think, is it through tarot cards possibly?
Yeah, she's flipping the tarots.
Yep. That Lisa will fall madly in love with a British college classmate named Hugh Parkfield. They start off, it's like a romantic comedy, like, oh, this guy just gets under my skin. He took the last taxi. He checked out the book. What's going on here?
He took the last soy pop out of the machine.
Yep. Everything's soy-based.
In the far-flung future world of 2010.
Yep. Can you imagine the dystopian future of 2010?
They even show like a holographic tree, which I liked.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch things that are set in the future that are now in the past.
Yep.
Like the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Time Cop, which I love, I'm pretty sure takes place in 2007.
Yeah. Oh, no shit. Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I have not seen Time Cop in a minute.
Time Cop is great.
As cool.
It's bad, but it's good bad.
Yeah. Nothing is as cool as they're going to think it is. We're past Back to the Future 2. We don't have hover skateboards yet, do we?
No.
Like, why not? Let's get on top of that. We just burn all of our money blowing up brown people.
Spend it in better ways.
Less bombs, more hover. I'm going to run for office on a less bombs, more hoverboards platform.
If we're not going to use it for healthcare, can we at least use it for jetpacks or something?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like just a reasonably priced jetpack isn't asking for too much, but.
But at the same time, if they built a jetpack, the first thing they would do is strap bombs to it and send it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Yeah, and they fall madly in love, and they're both wildly left-leaning, both vegetarians, they both enjoy the Rolling Stones for their... Not for their music, but for their saving of old buildings or something like that.
Yeah, preserving old buildings.
Yeah. And he comes from a very stereotypical, very proper, upper class British family, so that they got to go back to Springfield because they're getting married. I'm going to go on record right now, Marlin. I don't like a grown-up Lisa. I find it uncomfortable. I certainly don't like grown-up Lisa smooching British college boys. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Lisa's 8. She'll always be fucking 8. I don't like any of this. Little girls don't smooch college British boys. Not cool.
Or they shouldn't, at least, without police being involved.
And on the same fucking subject, I don't like seeing Marge middle-aged. Not one bit. Don't enjoy it.
There was something I didn't care for with old Marge and Homer, but I, on the other hand, fucking love adult Lisa. I think she's delightful. I like her Sonic the Hedgehog hair. She's very spunky. She's great. I also really like teenage punk Maggie quite a bit.
Yep, I enjoy Maggie, and I enjoy whatever weird direction Bart's life's going in.
He's working as a demolition man.
Yeah, there's that earlier one where he's a really shitty, overweight male stripper.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
I do like that they do not sugarcoat Bart's prospects in life.
Yeah, he's not going to get to the moon or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I find it uncomfortable. I don't like them when they're grown up. But as one can expect, fancy pants British boy Hugh tries his best to fit in. But the Simpsons are the same nightmare they've always been in 2010 as they are now. So he's trying as he might. And there's a real nice, thoughtful scene towards the end on the marriage day, like where he goes and tells Lisa how much he cares about her and this and that. It was really one of those rare but sweet Homer is a good dad moments, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And is it a pig couple cufflinks?
Yeah, a groom and bride, but they're like cartoon pig cufflinks.
Yep. And he gave them to Hugh to wear because I think he wore them at his wedding.
Yeah,
and,
so it's like good luck.
Yep. And then Lisa found out that he didn't wear them and he wouldn't wear them. And basically they're like, oh, okay, let's just get through the marriage. We'll go back to England. We'll never have to care about any of these people again. And Lisa's like, hold the phone. This is my squad. I can't give up on these people. And
yeah, he does not like The Simpsons at all.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, he's got some reason, but hey, like
A little bit, but come on.
It's a package deal.
Yeah, they kind of come with the bride, man. I think that's how it works.
Yeah. So that's kind of pretty much how it ends, with her telling him to kick rocks. And then we cut back to present day, and it turns out that fortune teller was never really there to begin with. Or am I just imagining that? Or is it there the whole time?
No, she was there because she even does like the
smoke
ninja
bomb.
vanish smoke bomb. Yeah.
And then Lisa just slowly backs out.
And then has a nice moment with Homer at the end.
Yep, where they walk away hand in hand. Yep, that was really nice.
I think my favorite thing about the futuristic world of 2020 is the digital Big Ben that needs to be reset because it's blinking 12 the whole time.
Yeah. There were some good little sight gigs throughout it.
Yeah,
like you mentioned, the tree. I like the tree.
Yep, the holographic tree. I love that when they're showing everyone at the power plant, it's like Lenny and Carl are board members. Most of the jobs are being done by robots. Homer still in the same office, in the same chair, at the same console. And now Milhouse is his boss.
Oh, yeah. That was great, too, when Milhouse, they cut to like a teenage Lisa and Milhouse. And Milhouse is, of course, just a wreck as a teenager. Tons of acne with a wispy mustache.
Yep. I like seeing Milhouse.
Yeah. I do like Riot Girl Maggie. I'm a fan of Riot Girl Maggie.
Yeah. A big fan of Teenage Punk Maggie, and I really like there's like a recurring gag where she's always about to speak and then gets cut off for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that too. So it's mostly just Lisa. Maybe it's just British boys.
Yeah, maybe you have a problem with British people. Is that it?
Date 8-year-olds. Hey, call me old-fashioned, Marlin, with your big city ways. I don't think British men should date 8-year-old girls. That's
I
know. Old-timey conservative takes.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I just feel that the test of time is going to prove me right on this one.
No, you're probably going to be on the right side of history with these hot takes.
Yeah.
I don't think that college-age men from Great Britain should be dating 8-year-old girls. Everyone around's like, yeah, who's arguing for this.
That'll be the radio ad for my hot take right wings radio show.
Mm-hmm. Hugh in that episode, by the way, voiced by the delightful Mandy I never know how to say his name.
Patinkin, Patton.
But
he's got one of those names I've been mispronouncing since day one, so I'm just confident to keep mispronouncing it.
I'm going to say Patterson because it's easier to say. So,
yeah.
Mandy Patterson.
Patterson. He ain't Mandy.
You love him from that cop show he was on for so long. He is great in Dead Like Me. You ever watch that? The show about the Grim Reapers?
Like late 90s Showtime show, Dead Like Me, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that show.
He was on an
easily forgotten one.
Network drama too, like Chicago Hope or something like that. It might have been Chicago Hope, something like that.
And I think the thing he's most known for is that cop show. That I don't know if it's Criminal Minds or.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, you're right though. He's on something like that, and then he's what's from back in the day, Princess Bride.
I've never seen The Princess Bride.
I've only seen, but it was not a part of my childhood. I'm the right age for it to be part of my childhood too, but yeah.
Same here. And I love Andre the Giant, but have somehow never gotten around to The Princess Bride. So, and like those guys, fucking Billy Crystal and what's his name? Is it Rob Reiner? I like a lot of those guys' work, and somehow just never got around to The Princess Bride.
Another actor whose name I have and he's one of the stars of Princess Bride, is the Carrie Elvis? Eloise? Was? Like, who knows what? Which of those? There's probably like 5 of the 7 letters are silent.
I think it's Elwes. No, I'm not confident. I'm just going to say Elway, like the quarterback.
You're calling him C-Bones. What up, C-Bones?
Yeah, who I know from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Mm-hmm. And the first Saw movie.
Oh, that's right. He's one of the guys.
He is one.
Hey, he's the one who cuts his own leg off.
Yeah, pretty metal.
Episode 20 of season 6 is 201 Greyhounds. As somebody who grew up watching 101 Dalmatians several times, I got a kick out of this one quite a bit. Santa's Little Helper, this episode starts with like everyone wondering why all of their shit is broken in one way or another. Turns out Santa's Little Helper still sucks. Like
Yep,
he
still sucks.
Still a bad dog.
But he's so horny. He just needs to bust. If he can't bust, he's busting your stuff. Let that dog bust.
Yes, that seems to be the issue.
I hope there's some just freak Simpsons writer that's always just thinking about the pet sex lives. Like, when was the last time Santa's Little Helper fucked? Jesus Christ, Ronnie, what's your problem? You don't even mention the family ever.
Every episode he pitches, it has this storyline in it, and they finally just buckled. Just like, fine, Ronnie, we'll do one where the dog fucks. Okay?
Yeah, man, this is gonna be the Christmas where Santa's Little Helper finally fucks. God,
all right,
damn, who are you related to? Why are you employed here?
All right, Ronnie, you're touching yourself kind of a lot here. This is.
Could you just not? I know we keep it casual, but just wear something more than a barely tied together robe. Come on. Just casually tugging on his nipple the whole time. Yeah.
Listen, Ronnie, we had a meeting about the sweatpants, and it's not going to work for us. Yeah. They're tight, they're light gray. Everyone can see your dick print. No one is okay with what's happening here.
Been washed a whole lot.
So they're driving back from the pet store where they bought a bunch of stuff to hopefully quell the dog's urges. But he escapes the car and goes running back to the dog track where they first found him. And there is kind of a fun sight gag where the dogs are racing around the track, and it's framed in such a way that it looks like they're neck and neck because the dog has gotten back onto the track. So it looks like he's about to pass the lead dog, but then it pans back a little bit and you're like, oh, those are dogs banging. That's precisely what's going on here.
And Homer's got that great line. It's like, now I get it. He misses casual sex.
Yep.
I don't know, like maybe you grew up rural enough that you didn't see, like, just a part of my childhood growing up in a trailer park is just every once in a while you're out riding bike, there just be random dogs fucking in the streets. I just think that's missing now. Like,
what a fucking upbringing you have.
Yeah, but I just think so many people get their pets spayed and neutered, which is applaudable, but like, just when was the last time you just saw dogs fucking in town? It just used to be a thing.
To be fair, it's been a while. So yeah. I mean, you make a valid point. I mean, I don't leave my apartment much, but
yeah. Sometimes I'll hear it in the hall. I guess I'm gonna wait to check my mail.
It scares my cat. That's all I know.
Yeah. Like, it happened enough when I was a kid that like you're like, hey, look at that. Wonder what that's all about. And then you just go on with your day, like. I have a feeling that would be a landmark moment in most 6-year-olds' life now.
Yeah, growing up on the farm, like, that was just a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, there's that. All right.
That's
anyway, what was I talking about?
Yeah. Oh, the little Greco-Roman wrestling. Have fun with that, cows. Is Star Trek The Next Generation on yet?
Keep them coming. That's where we get the beef. Get at
it. You want another Super Nintendo controller, you better hope that produces something.
Oh, God. So they end up getting to keep the lady dog because the guy who owns her at the dog track doesn't want her anymore. And so they bring it back to the house, and the dog ends up giving birth to 25 puppies.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know anything about dogs. That seems like a lot.
Yeah. That's a lot of babies.
At first, they're like, oh, this is great. Look at all these adorable puppies. But it is not long before the puppies are a full-blown nuisance.
Yep, they're a menace.
Because you just can't have 25 puppies in a home. It's just not sustainable. And they are gonna get rid of them and then decide, okay, maybe we'll keep them. And the big last straw comes when they have a nice dinner and they invite Reverend Lovejoy, Homer's old drill sergeant, and the director of the IRS to their home.
It's a great combo.
Like the three people who we most need this to go well, and that's who they came up with. The puppies, of course, ruin the dinner. To me, it raises the question, wait, have we ever addressed that Homer was in the army?
Yep. No shit. It's never been talked about once.
No, not once. This is the first time it's come up. And, like, I hope that it's not the last, because I have questions.
Yeah.
How did he? Why did he? Was he drafted? Has Homer killed? That's what I want to know.
Well, knowing his age, probably not. He kind of would have came right after Vietnam. He probably didn't see any combat.
His mid-30s in the 90s, yeah. So, like 15 years.
I think his driver's license
been...
said he was born in 56 when we get a glimpse at it. So.
Okay, yeah, probably not in Nam then. But I do want to know more.
Yeah. I got a question for you before we go much deeper. Since you mentioned you grew up watching it, what's the premise of 101 Dalmatians? Like, what's the bad lady going to do to those dogs?
This is pretty much it. Cruella de Vil wants to skin the puppies and make a coat.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me, really?
Yeah, that's the premise of this children's film.
That's pretty gnarly, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, of course, spoiler alert, she does it. Like, that'd be a real bummer if that's how that movie ended. just her surrounded by 101 skinless dog carcasses hanging around her in this meat locker. That would be a real, as she pulls on this still bloody fur coat. That would be
covered in
a real
gleaming
bummer.
and gristle.
While the two adult dogs cry. Like,
yep. Oh, it looks like a cutscene from Hellraiser 2. How much proof do we need that Walt Disney's the worst man that ever lived?
Yeah, him ending that story that way would really probably seal it. Like, yeah. we could overlook the anti-Semitism, but kind
of rough.
Pretty rough stuff with them dogs, Walt. So the dinner, of course, with all the important people goes awry thanks to the puppies, and they decide they need to get rid of them, so they have just a giant cardboard box out in the lawn giving away 25 free Greyhound puppies. And wouldn't you know it, Mr. Burns wants them all. And Lisa begs and pleads with her mom to please not give them to mean old Mr. Burns. And Homer plants his foot and says, no, you can't have them. And they turn around for just a moment and Burns steals them all. Like, just shoveling puppies into this big burlap bag.
Yeah.
And then we go to Mr. Burns's mansion. The kids figure that he probably stole them, and they're right. And they go crawling up to the window to look in, and Burns is just washing them all and talking nice to them. And there's one in particular that he really likes because it knows how to stand on its back feet. And then we get a fun musical number with Mr. Burns where he explains that he intends to make a tuxedo out of these puppies. And
he's got that gorilla chest vest.
That's what cracked me up, is that it's like a Disney mashup, because we're doing the story from 101 Dalmatians, and he is singing See My Vest, which is a parody of Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, so it's exactly Be Our Guest, the music and everything, except it's about 101 Dalmatians. Being a Disney kid, I got a lot out of this episode.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I am the opposite of Disney had such a little impact on my childhood.
Man, I watched so many of those Disney movies to death when I was a kid. Like, in particular, The Lion King and The Little Mermaid. Like, I bet I have seen both of those movies 100 times each.
Yeah. So I think I'm just old enough that I was like 10 by the time we got a VCR. So like it wasn't a big part of my brother, meanwhile, a scant 4 years younger than me. Yeah, he watched Lion King like 75 times a month because we had a VHS copy of it.
I bet my parents were ready to just lead me out into the prairie and cut me loose with the amount of times they were subjected to the Lion King.
You singing Hakuna Matata with like a beat up fake lion head you got at Hardee's 2 years ago. Mashing action figures from Lion King together in the back of the car.
Oh, God.
He doesn't even move their arms. He just has them headbutt. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
He's seen animals fuck ever since he was a toddler. You'd think he could mimic it a little better.
I remember being a kid and having someone over at our house, like a random cousin or something like that. And my mom would be like, okay, share your toys. And just being outraged that they didn't know how to use them properly. It's like... Optimus Prime is an intricate machine from the space. He doesn't just fucking headbutt shit, you goddamn imbecile. We go play in the rocks in the front yard.
And I bet it was a real train wreck if they ever tried to transform him. Like, don't even touch it. Just set it down.
Like, if you fucking break something, I swear to Christ.
They go to pull the head, like fold the head in, but they pull it backwards and yank it off.
I should have thrown
a dead cousin.
Yeah, I should thrown some GoBots in the crawl space under the trailer. That's where you get to play. Till you prove you're an adult enough to use the Transformers.
Yeah, you don't get Transformers and G.I. Joe. You get GoBots and Mask, and you like it.
I had a couple friends that were huge into Mask.
Wow, I don't think that sentence ever has been uttered.
Yeah. I remember enjoying the Mask cartoon as a kid.
See, all of that, I came after that. So, like I also have never seen Transformers or He-Man or, like, those were just before me. I've never seen G.I. Joe either. But
oh, really? See, I think we maybe discussed this, but I loved Mask, G.I. Joe, and the Transformer cartoon because I wasn't as emotionally invested in those toy lines as I was He-Man. And He-Man, I was like a New York Times critic. I just poo-pooed everything they did because I'd already built up a He-Man lore in my 6-year-old brain, and they weren't fun. It's like too bad isn't a bumbling dolt. He's a feared menace. He's a bounty hunter in Eternia, and now he's just goddamn comic relief.
Fuck this! This is an outrage. You shoot the television like Elvis.
It's like they're appealing to the lowest common denominator. Was this for children?
Yes, actually.
It's actually, that's all it's for. Do you realize you're 6, right? I remember I used to pretend I could read so like other kids wouldn't want to talk to me because I would just hold the newspaper so I didn't have to have a weird interaction with kids I didn't know that well. A newspaper that was probably as tall as I was.
I love the idea of you holding a newspaper pretending to read it like a 30s spy movie.
Exactly. Just move your eye. You've seen your dad do this. You move your eyes left to right, left to right, left to right. This is what they do when they look at these letters.
And nobody talks to you?
Yep.
Occasionally you murmur something about pork prices.
Why don't you just want to play? Just play with the kids, Nathan. No. I'm going to sit alone, look at the bugs. Oh, I did a lot of that. I would sit on the porch and I would capture a grasshopper and have it fight like 50 ants to see who would win. That is what serial killers do. That's not good.
Running your own Thunderdome in your youth.
I would put them in a container and have them fight. Whoever lived got out of the container.
And just released back into the wild. They won their freedom.
And my wonderful grandmother, she just thought I was just she'd just come on, bring me a snack every couple hours. Oh, playing with the bugs. Here's some graham crackers. Thanks, Grandma. Now die. Not you, Grandma, the bugs. Oh, I know.
Fucking Caligula over here.
Oh, man. Yeah. Terrifying. God,
Holy shit.
I think I don't have the ambition for evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Good thing doing actual evil takes a lot of work.
It's exhausting.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was never a G.I. Joe Transformers He-Man mask kid. Like, I landed square in the Ninja Turtles. Like, that was my shit. Like, came on in 85, same time I was born, so well hitting their stride when I was 5. So, like, I landed right where I needed to be a full-on Ninja Turtles kid.
They were making Ninja Turtles toys in 85?
That's when the TV show debuted, and yeah, those came out alongside the toys, yeah.
Really? Huh. So that's not even that much older than He-Man's, like 81, I think? 81, 82? I had no idea.
And I mean, we came to, we grew up in North Dakota, so they took a while to get here, probably.
They got here in 2001.
Yep. Hey, this new shit, this Ninja Turtles shit.
You guys heard about these Furbies? It's crazy.
You guys check this out, huh?
Someone took a trip to Minneapolis and brought a Furby back, and they killed them as a heretic in the town square. It's learning English. It's playing God. No, thank you. It's an abomination.
Holy shit. Oh, I was off a little bit. It started in 87, the TV series. That was my bad, but luckily I was able to correct that.
There you go. Our listeners are losing their minds right now. Oh, thank God.
The reason I looked that up in case I needed to correct myself is because that's what I do when I listen to podcasts and they get something that doesn't matter at all slightly wrong. Just, no, that's not. God damn it. So, there you go. Everyone can stop shouting at their phone.
I nerd out hard about sports like that. Like when I hear, the call-ins on a radio show are already complete fucking rejects. But when the hosts get shit wrong, that it just gets under my skin. It's like, there's a goddamn salary cap in the NBA that trade's not even feasible on many levels. The contract values have to be within 10% of each other. You couldn't do it. I need to go home and live alone as soon as possible.
Can't believe I'm even listening to this garbage.
Repeating all of this when I get home to my fridge. I've made a crude lipstick face on it. Listen, Frigidaire, this is crazy. This asshole.
Can you believe?
You can't trade first-round picks in back-to-back seasons.
He's got his own show. He should know that. He's flipping out.
A simple Wikipedia search is all it would take.
Just jamming cold bread in your mouth. Just give you give a radio show to anybody now.
Thinking I'm eating cottage cheese. I look down, it's just butter. I just keep eating. Why do these containers look so similar?
Seems irresponsible. Write a strongly worded email to Cass Clay Dairy and tell them to put those in different shaped buckets.
Oh, I'll fuck up some cottage cheese. Holy shit, I'm really hungry right now too.
I'll stand in my kitchen and just eat a tub of cottage cheese.
Yep. I have to put it in a bowl or I will eat far too much cottage cheese.
See, I don't think there is such a thing. I'll just, you know what a serving of cottage cheese is? The tub.
Yeah.
Like
You've
the
always
tall
been a
tub.
slave to your decadences.
Yeah. I'm a slave to the dairy, Nathan.
Yes. You've never apologized for it. It's one of your best traits.
I don't apologize because I'm not fucking sorry. So I'm just cramming cottage cheese in my face. Isn't there a right label one of these? What's with this 2%? Yeah. I want diesel cottage cheese.
Just gonna say I need diesel.
Yeah.
Give me that 5%.
Is there a way we can get more milk fat into this?
Can I just buy milk fat? You go through all the weird like food law tests you have to take to become like a dairy distributor just so you can buy bulk milk fat.
I got a carton of buttermilk I'm pouring into the container and mixing it up in there.
Yeah. You're pouring it into coffee mugs so you can bring it when you drive. Doesn't really pour, it more slides down your throat.
Got a Yeti full of cottage cheese. I'm ready to go to work. Got a thermos of it.
He's gained at least 11 pounds while we've been in the office today.
Look how shiny his hair is, though. God, he's like, what's left is real shiny. He's got a beautiful coat.
Yeah. He's never looked better or worse.
doing key bumps of dry creamer in the break room. Just can't get enough fucking dairy.
He's really diving into that dairy lifestyle. The weirdest HR meeting ever. Yeah, we're really going through the French vanilla creamer. You do know that's supposed to be mixed with coffee, right?
Meanwhile, I'm in the corner just mixing it into a carton of heavy whipping cream, just like, what?
You have multiple cartons in front of you at the table during what's supposed to be a pretty important meeting. Oh, man, if I would have brought an ice cream tub, I could just mix it all into that.
Making a note of that to myself. Like, okay, next meeting, bring in an ice cream tub.
That's good. That's real good.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Simpsons, I think.
Oh, right. Burns is going to make a tuxedo out of the dogs, but the kids help the dogs escape down a laundry chute. And we see Mr. Burns' unfinished basement again, which I always love. I think that's a great joke that he has this huge manor with an unfinished basement. And he, it turns out, can't bring himself to kill the dogs, and ends up, we cut ahead a ways to him keeping the dogs but not killing them, and then we cut to the dog track sometime later where all 25 dogs have all become dog racing superstars and given him a return of like $10 billion. So, of course, money-wise, everything always works out for Mr. Burns. And they show the announcer at the dog track is like, whoever gave those dogs away for free is probably kicking themselves. And the episode ends with Marge going down into the basement, and you see the shadow of Homer's feet swinging, so it looks like he's committed suicide.
Yep.
And then it pans over. He's hanging from the rafters, batting at the light bulb, because it's the only thing that brings him joy anymore. Which is a great joke. Great visual gag. I enjoyed that one a lot. I love all the Disney shit, because I fucking grew up a Disney kid. So, which makes our songs throughout season 6 that we sing in the intro a real delight for me.
I was just going to say, maybe... You know, I guess if our listeners are into it so far, they'll go down these roads with us. They know we're not here to be pitch perfect.
No, we are by accident, but it's not our intent.
We're showmen. We can't fuck up even if we try when it comes to entertaining.
Right. It's not our intent to be, fucking perfect singers, but here we are. Mm-hmm.
We are on to episode 21. And that would be the PTA disbands with an exclamation point, so you know what's important. Mm-hmm. Starts off with a great taking the shitty, rundown Springfield bus to a kind of like an old-timey, what would you call it? Like a pioneer park type thing?
Yeah, it seems to be like an old fort that they've turned into an attraction.
Oh, yeah, there's a military. It's not just an Old West type thing. It's also, like a Civil War type reenactment. And a really shitty bus. And they're really pounding in the fact that the that they have no budget for the school in Springfield, and there's a lot of discord between the teachers and Principal Skinner. And yeah, then just the endless, and then it cuts to the old bus, which explodes when a leaf lands on it. So
yeah, a nice it's better than the old bus.
Yeah. What was your bus ride like to school? Did you luck out and you were picked up late, got off early, or were you one of those 2-hour bus ride kids?
I was the first one on and last one off every day.
No shit.
My bus ride was an hour each way.
Ugh. Getting home, it's pitch black in the winter.
But sometimes that's okay because it means you missed out on having to do fucking chores. So, but other times, not so much. And like having to get up so fucking early for goddamn school.
Oh boy, yeah, that was not for me.
Like you're getting on the bus at like 7:30 in the morning. That's fucking early.
That's too much.
And then riding this propane bus. Over an hour of gravel picking up only like 10 other kids because we were on a pretty desolate fucking bus route.
And when it's like winter and there's like a heavy wind, I bet like everything was road. Like there's no way to tell where a road was at that point. It's like,
yeah,
who knows what we're on right now?
And there was no, if I'm remembering right, and maybe this is like my old man brain misremembering, but I certainly don't remember there being a radio. So you just like rode in silence for an hour because what are you going to do? Talk to the other kids on the bus? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. That's not how that works at all. And it wasn't like the amount of kids on that bus route would not have filled like a short bus. But we still had a long bus, like a full-size bus, for whatever reason. And so it was just this empty echo chamber that you rode for an hour every day.
Yeah. See, our bus was full, and it was terrifying. There's some real troublesome juvenile delinquents on those buses.
I believe that you once shared that you had a kid who built a Freddy Krueger glove on that bus.
And he put that on and proceeded to just destroy a couple of bus seats, which never got fixed. The slashes were used to hide contraband on the bus. Reach into the gash and pull out like a homemade pistol that somebody made. It's a single shot, but it'll kill a kid.
Like stuffing money in your mattress.
Yep. Yeah. God, yeah. We had one of our last bus drivers, shout out to Lloyd. If you were a troublesome kid, he was OG enough. He would pull the bus over and you would get paddled in front of every kid on that bus in front of God's eyes. Yeah, he wasn't a teacher. He was an old farmer. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
that's fair. He's just doing this to have a reason to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, our bus driver was barely ever had to say a word. The occasional, hey, sit down, if kids were being rambunctious. But for the most part, old Jim just drove. Jim drives a bus. That's what Jim does. So
he's not there to discipline children?
Nope, just fucking going for it. Oh. Our school route was so desolate, now that I think about it, that on days when the school bus was broke down or not functioning for whatever reason, he would drive his Suburban and still fit all the kids in it.
You are kidding me. That's
like a 98 Chevy Suburban. Yeah. He could cram our whole bus route into it.
And we wonder why states like North Dakota are welfare states. They gotta spend the money spent fueling those buses could bring 10,000 inner city kids to their school because it's 6 blocks away.
Yeah, not a 16 miles.
Through 4 different townships to pick up the Johnson kids.
Yeah, would have been. They could have just put us up in town, like at the local motel, for cheaper than it took to bus us back and forth every day.
Yeah. But then what would Jim do?
Yeah, I guess Jim would have farmed, because that is what Jim did.
I hope that would come up at like school board meetings. Okay, yeah, this all adds up, but what about Jim? He's just sitting there looking all sad. I can't stay mad at you, Jim. Welcome back.
Well, come on, get in here.
You just want to drive around, not haul kids, just drive the bus around for 4 hours? We'll pay you.
Yeah, so what was your, like, you had I assume, shorter bus ride than I did?
Pretty baller. Yep. And a bunch of the kids that lived even closer to town than us quit riding the bus. So by the time I was like junior high, yeah, it was a 7-minute bus ride.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
We were like anywhere from second to fifth person off the bus, and the same as to second to fifth last to get picked up.
Man.
So yeah, we locked out.
You had it easy.
Yeah. And if we were 2 miles farther north, it would have been the opposite, because that was right by where the bus driver lived for a while. So those kids would and have to go all through the hills. Like, they were going farther away from town before they'd come back closer to town.
Oh, man. I bet it's a nightmare to draw those routes out
in
rural North Dakota.
They're not hiring an engineer to do that. It's just you have a half an hour to put that together. Let's figure this out quick.
Yeah, we gotta get to this. It's just the PTA members at a basketball game.
Yeah.
Just, all right, let's throw this together quick. Yeah. I've been drinking. We gotta get this done.
I like how Otto is in charge of siphoning fuel up to Shelbyville bus so they can get the field trip back. And he gives him a mint. He's like, oh man, I shouldn't have ate that mint first.
Yeah, the mint is for afterwards.
Yeah. So it just shows.
That's something that is like universally known as like a dirt bag or a delinquent, but I have never done that. I have never siphoned gas up out of a hose.
Oh, I only have a couple times, and it was mostly to get gas out of something that we had to get it into something I wanted to ride, like siphon gas out of something so you can get it into the four-wheeler or from the four-wheeler into the snowmobile. I can only think of twice. I've only tasted gas once that I know of. It is not something you want to taste.
No, I'll bet not. I had seen my dad do it a couple of times to like, oh, we got to fill the generator, but we don't have the gas can. Well, I guess the tractor's here.
Yep.
Then he would do it. It always looked very unpleasant. Yep. And the physics don't make any sense to me. So,
it's still to this day, I can't figure out how it works, but it does. It works.
Yeah, whatever works. Maybe that's the life I got to start living. I got to live that siphon life.
Yeah. You know, it's times like this during a pandemic. You really got to find out what your passion is and go for it.
Yeah, I'm recently unemployed. Let's try some shit.
You could start an Etsy page selling stolen gas.
Imagine trying to ship that. I bet it's hard to ship gasoline.
A picture of you in like an old timey like Texaco gas jockey outfit. Like, hi, I'm Marlin. I steal gas. Want to buy it?
Premium stolen gasoline. Here we go. Well, that one's diesel. Ugh.
Yeah. You can become a gas connoisseur.
A gasoline sommelier.
Yeah. Ooh, this is it right here. This is the good stuff. You can tell this must be Shell by the taste. This is definitely a Central American, Venezuelan.
Yeah.
I'm really getting a kick out of it. Perfect time of year for this, guys. Perfect time. So act now.
Very pungent, barrel aged, I believe. Marlin, they're all barrel aged. That's how it's sold.
That's how they ship it.
It's all. God damn it.
Yeah. There's also a great scene when I'm trying to think what they find out like that the meals are containing more and more ground up newspaper.
Yeah.
And Skinner defends it's a good source of roughage and essential inks.
And you didn't even taste the old gym mats, and they show the lunch lady running a gym mat through the meat grinder.
I don't think there's any meat in here.
Yeah, the school is on hard times.
What is Bart's drinking milk?
Yep, M-A-L-K.
Now with vitamin R.
I don't even think that's a real vitamin.
Yeah.
I love to go back for just a second when they get run out of that fort for trying to look over the fence for free. Uter does not quite make the bus. The chubby German kid gets run down, and the Civil War reenactors put the boots to him.
Yeah, clubbed by Civil War reenactment people.
Oh, fuck. That Civil War reenactment, by the way, where it's like the Springfield fort fighting for the Union and the Confederate soldiers just riddled with disease and injuries come surrendering, and they fucking massacre them.
Yeah. And they sell it like it's this brave patriotic moment too.
Yeah, the person giving the tour, like doing the narration, just like, the cowardly surrender was no use, and they heroically murdered all these men.
So great, yeah. Man, you want to talk about a level of dork that I think far exceeds even Renaissance Fair or LARPing is Civil War reenactment.
Yep.
There's no creativity. It's like, hey, newsflash, we've seen this movie. I know how the Civil War ended.
And it's
I
not
don't
like,
get it.
And I'll watch a movie about the Civil War or a documentary or, all that kind of shit. But like the idea that people dress up and go do it is beyond me. Like, I guess everyone needs a fucking hobby, but why is that the one?
I don't get it. I mean, hey, you do you. If you get fulfillment out of that, I'm happy for you.
Like, I just love mutton chops and being in the sun. I guess I'll be a Civil War reenactor.
And wearing wool. Oh man! Like, how many people did heat stroke take out of the Civil War?
Oh, jeez, probably as many as cannonballs.
Or how many people just collapsed from like their full body cramping? What the fuck? Like, they weren't staying hydrated. They're fighting in wool uniforms. My fucking God.
How many people at Gettysburg just had vitamin deficiencies and fell over?
I remember reading a book about the Civil War as a little kid, and they had a painting of like the side of a little tent that the hospital, like the military field doctor was using, and there was like a 5 foot high pile of severed limbs beside the tent, and I was like, that's fucking metal. I mean, that's Jesus. When it's a 3-man operation to move the arm pile, things are fucked.
Yeah, things are real bad.
Yeah, like, my God. Do the coyotes just take care of it, or do they got to bury that shit? Like,
do you just toss them out? I don't care to know, really. I was about to say I don't know, but I also don't care to know.
Do you want the coyotes and raccoons to get a taste for human meat? That's probably not good for the settlers.
You already got musket balls to worry about. Now you got coyotes coming in? No, fuck that.
Yeah. And one thing about this episode I want to mention, too, it has been a hot minute since we have had a Krabappel-centric episode, and I think I've made my thoughts on Mrs. Krabappel pretty clear. I am a fan.
Yeah, same here.
In many ways. Love me some Krabappel.
And I do agree. I think it's been a while since we gave her any reasonable screen time. Mm-hmm. So happy to see her.
That's like, with a show with this much longevity, you can go like several seasons between getting an episode that features someone prominently.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. Like, we have 30 years to work with. Like, I wonder what the gap is between, like, Apu-centric. It's probably like a decade at some of the gaps, like...
Yeah, are there, like, 3 total, and there's a decade in between each one? I don't know.
Exactly, yeah. Like, but the Krabappel is very angry with what the budget cuts, and Skinner's pretty angry just about them not accepting reality, and Bart overhears Lisa talking about the talk of there possibly being a strike, and Bart, of course, his juvenile delinquent DNA kicks in, so he figures out a real chess master Machiavellian way of pitting them two against each other.
Yeah, it really fans the flames.
Yep. So we have a teacher strike, and it is a shit show at the school after that. And that's what Bart totally wanted. But there's a lot of these things where Bart gets what he wants and it blows up in his face. That's a common theme.
Yeah, like him finally accomplishing the thing he was trying to do and then realizing it was a bad idea.
Yep.
A lot of that in this show. I love the fact that he seemingly for no reason goes to the bank and starts a mob. Like he just needs a hit. I think that's kind of what they do throughout the episode, is showing that like without school, Bart has no like release valve for his delinquency, so he has like legit starts a small riot in the lobby of the bank.
He's like an artist without a canvas. Like juvenile delinquency is his passion, but if without any form of like power like structure to rail against, he has nothing.
Yep, he needs an outlet. And I get that. With no stand-up comedy happening, if we didn't have this podcast, I'd probably be losing my shit too.
You'd be just be in the community laundry room telling hot takes to whoever walks in.
Just standing out in my parking lot shouting jokes at people until the cops arrive.
And the bullies are kind of there. They don't really know what to do with themselves either. But before they can get too deep into the malaise of not having anything to do, they come to an idea that, hey, the community's just going to have to fill in. So we get Mo as a teacher. He thinks they're mocking him for his giant ears.
When really he's been given a list full of roll call names that are prank call names.
Yeah. Oh man, who else do we see as a teacher?
Oh, we see Jasper as Lisa's teacher, just talking
the classic,
about
that's
paddling.
That's a paddling. Yep, that's kind of lived on for a while.
Who he ends up letting the class go early because he gets his beard stuck in the pencil sharpener, which I thought was great.
Yep, that's a very good sight gig, especially at the end when Grandpa Simpson's trying to help him, but it's really only making it worse.
Yeah, like his solution to getting it out is to turn the crank, which pulls more beard in. And he does that about 4 times before just running off.
Yeah. And things really go bad for Bart, though, when Marge becomes his homeroom teacher.
And is, again, like dorky mom Marge.
Yep, like waving at him all the time. Like, I would have rather put my hand in a goddamn blender than have one of my parents be a teacher at school. Oh, I hated being the center of attention back then. That would have killed me. Like, shout out to the kids that pulled it off. Like, I have friends that did, but I guess if you know it going in, it's hey, mom's a teacher, fucking deal with it, like.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, for that to be like thrust upon you as a new thing, that doesn't sound like any fun at all. Yep.
I wanted to avoid my parents anytime the sun was up. That was my thing.
My mom would occasionally be the bus driver on like a school trip, like a field trip or a long livestock judging trip. Like she would occasionally be the bus driver, but like I have the luxury of having like a cool mom, so it's just like my buddies like cracking jokes with her while I'm just trying not to say fuck because I'm 12 or whatever. Meanwhile, I'm in the back of the FFA livestock judging bus running the CD player, trying to make sure I don't pick anything with curse words in it.
We were just such awful kids that would just, if your mom was within earshot, it was just going to be the most awful things. Just maybe, graphic description of your mom's genitalia, just over and over again, like just would never end. It would just be endless, like clinical level descriptions. It's like not even sexual at this point. Like, just the worst people growing up together.
I think maybe you and your friends were raised badly. I don't know what happened to you guys.
There's just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I believe in curses, but I think there might have been one over a generation of kids. And I want to say right now, I'm one of them. Like, I was just as much a part of that as most of those guys were.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, try not to bullshit me into thinking that you weren't part of the problem.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. Yeah, I will admit to it fully. Like, it was just the worst. Like,
man.
Like, I see, I have younger cousins that are just so well adjusted enough that they can do shit and have fun with their parents in public. And they're like, when they're like 13, I'm like, how is this even possible? I would refuse to go into a business with my parents. Like, nope. My dad is a little, but my mom never. Like, I'll sit in the fucking car. I don't even want to be in the car right now. Like, and my mom, perfectly wonderful human being. Nothing weird about her at all. Just as mom as a mom can mom. But nope, I was not having it.
See, we went the opposite way. Like we were all seemingly decent, normal kids and high schoolers, but now when I look at the people I went to high school with, it's like, oh, you all eventually turned into shitheads, but you used to be okay.
Oh man,
we were the opposite.
Yeah. We were just born under a bad sign or something. I mean, very funny. I grew up with some amazingly funny people, but whoof, we were tough on each other. It was some rough stuff.
Like we got up to hijinks for sure. I certainly participated in stealing a road sign during a lightning storm, which is a bad fucking idea.
Yeah.
But we were for the most part pretty good kids.
It was the emotional abuse that I think back on. Like, God, yeah, there was very little physical bullying. It was almost all mental and emotional. Just ruin you as a man. Just like, oh my God.
We also didn't have much bullying because we had so few people that you couldn't ostracize anyone or you'd have no one to hang out with.
Oh man, yeah, we really went hard in that direction. It's a lot of ostracizing. Ostracizing was the number one pastime of teenagers in Botano in the late 90s.
It was a varsity sport.
Yeah, I lettered in ostracizing.
Shit.
I sometimes made kids wish they weren't alive.
Where's that pin for my FFA jacket?
Oh, God, the worst. The fucking worst. But I really look back at it fondly. I do, because I was able to avoid most of that wrath. And the little fractions of it I get would ruin me because I was such a sensitive boy. I did not have the thick skin for it.
Maybe that's why you didn't get it much. They could tell that you couldn't take it.
Yep. My grade that could. Then the kids from the other grades, like, that was it. Like my friends... Like, I never got teased for being fat by my classmates. It was the other kids. Like, hey, and then it was always weird. Like, hey, this is not how this works. This is not on brand. Tease them about other things. This makes them sad.
I love that I think they were probably holding each other to a higher standard. Like, come on, don't go for the low-hanging fruit. You can do
the
better.
fat one might kill himself, and that's going to ruin everything. Like, is that what we want? Have like a counselor from Bismarck come talk to us? Oh yeah, so The Simpsons. They got the new team. Oh, there's a great gag too that I loved when the teachers just all walk off the job. There's that little girl on the gymnast rings. And she mentions Mrs. Pommelhorse.
Yep.
That's gotta be. I think we've maybe heard that name once or twice before.
That's apparently the gym teacher, Mrs. Pommelhorse.
We do not see much of Mrs. Pommelhorse, so I love when we get the super rare characters to pop their heads out.
I love that the kids in band class are like, now we can play the forbidden music, and they play fucking Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah, and he still pokes his head in to like chastise them for playing it.
I heard that. Yeah. That's the forbidden music. Yeah.
Well, one thing I had a question on too, because there's again where it's just Bart's life is in shambles now that Marge is the teacher, because there's a scene where she makes him wear all that like protective gear. It just makes it easier for the bullies to full on punch him because they don't hurt their hands.
I do love that scene, but that's a different episode.
Oh, really?
That's the Marge Cop episode. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
She's like, it's a violation of such and such rules for you to ride that without pads.
Yep. So that's a little foreshadowing for her.
There's a little tease.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the kids that had parents that were their teachers and somehow made it out of life. Man, I don't know if I could have done it.
I love here, before the townsfolk become the teachers, that Lisa is fucking losing it, not being in school. Like, she's like screaming at Marge in the kitchen, grade me, please grade me. And she just writes an A on a piece of paper and hands it to her, and Lisa,
Lisa
like wanders
hugs it.
off. So fucking happy. Like she's getting her serotonin hit.
Yeah, I need to be judged.
She misses school so bad. I need to be evaluated.
And what is the compromise they come to? Well, Bart finally forces Krabappel and Skinner to get together.
Yeah,
and
locks them in the principal's office together.
Yup. And don't they rent out the coat rooms to the local county jail or something like that?
Yeah, they decide they'll make their extra money by renting out the coat rooms to the prison.
That one creep just grabs somebody's t-shirt and rips a handful of it out. We know what kind of predator Snake is. It's the other ones that are scarier. Like we don't know.
Right.
We
don't know anything about those other characters.
They can be a lot more ominous than Snake.
Yeah, Snake honestly seems kind of just benevolent. Like whatever.
Yeah. He's just an old-timey criminal. He doesn't want to work, so he's going to do crimes instead.
Yeah, he's going to knock over the Quickie Mart or steal a car or whatever.
Yeah.
I do like, though, how the episode ends with him, like, getting in Bart's ear about, like, hey, help me get out of here. There's something in it for you.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
I agree.
Episode 22 of Season 6 is called Round Springfield. First off, there's a TV in the kitchen, apparently, which I don't think we've ever seen before, have we?
Like that, yeah. I think a lot like Homer's military service, this is just used to make one gag work.
And a fucking big TV. Like, I've known people to have TVs in their kitchen, but this is, it looks like they moved the TV from the living room and put it on the kitchen counter. Like, I don't have the space in my kitchen, and I can't for the life of me figure out why you want a television in the kitchen. But
oh, man. Shout out to my buddy Ryan. Their family had like a hole cut into the wall to have like a little like 14-inch TV right at the dining room table. I remember after that, I always just thought a little bit less of my parents. Like, we could do this. People do it in this town. Sitting there watching reruns of Wings while you just haphazardly throw food in your face. There's no talking, no asking about how school went. Let's see how the game from Wings is doing.
Man, I can't deal with that. I never have been that person who needs to have a TV everywhere. Even today, like, I don't look down on, per se, people who have televisions in their bedroom, but I certainly don't understand it.
Oh, no shit.
No.
See, I've always been a bedroom person. Like, I have had living arrangements where I pretty much say, hey, give me the garage, you can have the living room. And I'll just hang out in my room.
Oh, man. Not me, man. I got to have a living room and a bedroom need to be two different rooms.
Oh, see, I think a lot of that's from growing up because, I don't know, newsflash to those who never lived in a trailer house. There's only one living room. And it's small, and that's where Dad is at. I did not want to be there because, well, first off, my dad refused to have the Nintendo hooked to the good TV. So he would just find old black and white junk TVs out of the garbage truck. And that was our TV. So I had like a collection of broken black and white TVs. Okay, let's roll the dice on this one and try to play Contra 2 to see how this goes.
Like, now that I think about it, I did eventually have a TV with my Nintendo hooked up to it in my bedroom back at home, but for the same reason of, like, Dad wants to watch the Weather Channel because that's what dads watch. And it's like, I want to play Nintendo. So rather than that be a conflict, I'll just get a TV for upstairs. But like as an adult, no screens in the bedroom.
No
I don't
kidding,
need a television in the kitchen.
Yeah. I slowly realize I'm becoming my father's son, but that at like 10 o'clock some days, I should see if the weather's on. I have a fucking cell phone, man. I can find out the weather. I don't need to watch a local guy tell me what the weather is, but it's in my DNA. I want to watch the weather sometimes. Like,
God, I have never understood that. Like, he would sit for hours and watch the fucking Weather Channel. Once we got satellite TV, I think the Weather Channel and the History Channel were the only things he ever watched.
Oh, no shit. If they ever got rid of the Game Show Network, my parents would strongly consider getting rid of the dish. That is a staple in the full. We have watched so many hours of Match Game 76 reruns. Like, Gene Rayburn is like the uncle we don't like, while Charles Nelson Riley is the uncle we adore.
Man, we were never those people.
Yeah, we were. They still are. God bless them. The more things change, the more they stay the same. If you want to watch Match Game 76, come to the Full Select House in the mid-afternoon.
It's on all the time, apparently.
Yeah. My dad also loves Hallmark movies. Like, hours of them every night.
Really?
It blows my fucking mind.
Like, these are, and like, this is the season for it, right? Because aren't they mostly like Christmas schlock?
They have figured out how to use the DVR, and it is 85%. Well, no, it's a combination of The Voice, American Idol, America's Got Talent, and then a slew of Hallmark movies.
Man, like, I would never think of your parents being that way. Not that I know them or anything like that, but I can't imagine... Like, I can't imagine any of the parents that I grew up with doing that. So
I am convinced my dad was replaced by a cyborg around the year 2000. He quit smoking. He became really nice. There's a lot of things I'm still trying to put the pieces together with. Like,
I don't trust it.
And I could just see maybe mom just went with it. Because, like, sure, it's not the man I fell in love with, but he's pretty pleasant to be around.
At some point, even if it's not what you ordered, an upgrade's an upgrade, right?
So, yeah, lots.
Shit.
And man, those movies, dude, I saw enough of them secondhand this summer. It's just the same plot with, instead of owning a bakery, you own a guitar shop. Instead of owning a guitar shop, you're a struggling poet. It's just, oh my God.
It's just Mad Libs. It's the same plot with different nouns in there.
They just have collected they pulled what every middle-aged woman's wet dream is, and they just took the top three and they make different movies about it. I want to quit the rat race and open up a muffin shop in Vermont. It's just, I want to study. I want to get back into writing poetry. It's just the same things over and over again.
I have friends who are deeply into like holiday Hallmark movies, and it just baffles me.
I don't get it, man. There's so many good movies out there that you haven't seen. Watch the good stuff.
Read a fucking book. How about,
bro? You're going. No, my dad will read a book if it is a Louis L'Amour book he's already read 75 times. He will read that book again. Voracious reader of things he's already read.
I've never understood those people. I've maybe reread like 3 books in my life. Like, once I read a book, it's out the door. Like, on to the next one.
His favorite author's been dead for 37 years. There ain't going to be any new books, too. So, but he's just been rereading those same ones over and over.
And then
doesn't even like
author.
other Westerns. Like, it's
Weird.
just Louis L'Amour.
So weird.
Yeah.
Louis L'Amour guys are Louis L'Amour guys. I've learned that in my past. Bart is eating Krusty O's cereal, and on the box it brags that there is one jagged metal O in every box. Not sure why you would do that, but okay. Well, you would do that so we can have an episode. That's why you would do that. Bart eats the jagged metal O and ends up having to go to the hospital. They end up doing surgery in a large in-the-round surgical theater, which I don't think were still a thing at this time.
Yeah. We see that Dr. Nick is employed by the hospital.
Yeah, as the anesthesiologist, even though he doesn't have a clue how the anesthetic works.
It kind of made me sad, because I like my Dr. Nick working fast and loose, just doing jobs for cash.
Yeah, I want Dr. Nick working out of the strip mall, or like the back of... or the back of the shady lawyer's office.
I want him to get busted forging checks every few years.
Yeah, I want Dr. Nick to have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Bart, of course, survives his surgery because it would be a very short show if he didn't. Lisa is visiting Bart in the hospital and finds out that Bleeding Gums Murphy is also in the hospital and goes and visits him. And we do a fun gag where they never say it, but we're pretty heavily led to believe that Dr. Hibbert and Bleeding Gums Murphy are brothers.
Yeah. And it's never touched upon again. That's what I like about it, too.
Yeah, they just each, like, almost out loud to themselves is like, yep, my brother's a doctor. And, oh, yeah, my brother's a local jazz musician. It's very funny. Bleeding Gums Murphy is not doing well, and he's looking back on his life. We get our first look of the Simpsonized Cosby Show, which Bleeding Gums Murphy had been on. He says that's the last time he worked was a cameo appearance in '87 on the Cosby Show.
Yeah. Which adds up because Cosby was a jazz nut.
Oh, was he? I never watched enough Cosby Show to know anything about
he had his own jazz festival in the Philadelphia area, I think.
He was also into plenty of other shit that probably shouldn't have a festival.
That they don't allow you to have festivals for. Oh, dude. I hate to steal your thunder, but speaking of festivals, there's a scene where Lisa's talking to Bleeding Gums, and he's like, "Is your brother all right?" And he turns the corner, and he's got his pants down, and he has those eyes on his butt cheeks. He has that great, "I'm Dr. Cheeks. Sorry I'm late. I'm running a little behind." And it made me think, when I was 19 or 20, me and my buddies at a campsite at a classic rock fest, Rock in the Hills, R.I.P.
I remember that.
The people camping next to us were middle-aged folks, which, I don't know, they're probably 33, but they just seemed old to us because we were teenagers. And one of them's name was Maynard, and we somehow found out that Maynard had horseshoes tattooed on his butt cheeks. And boy, did he like showing them off.
Oh, boy.
I mean, at least for the first 30 times, and then the rest of the night, where we would, "Get over here!" I mean, make him pull his pants down in front of random teenagers.
Which is probably a crime.
Yeah, might have felt a little exploitive for old Maynard after a while. I hope he realizes that we were just having a good time and enjoyed his tattooed buns.
Out here treating a grown man's ass like an object. Jeez.
Hey, if you're out there flaunting it, don't expect.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. How big was his grin when he was getting those tattooed? "I'm going to show these fuckers to everybody."
And after one night with you assholes, he's like, "I'm never going to show anybody again."
He's cashing out his meager 401k so he can get tattoo removal surgery.
Because
they wouldn't even look me in the eye anymore.
They weren't even asking anymore. They would just pull my trousers down and show everybody.
They'd flip me over in bed and pull my pants down. They'd point and laugh.
God, you kids were monsters.
"Put your pants on, you bitch." We walk out.
Cab fare on the dresser. Get out of here.
This is my camper.
Why was I in their home? This is my camper. Oh, shit.
Oh, it's a rough time. I mean, for him, not for us. We were having the time of our lives.
You were enjoying yourselves still.
Yep. Oh, fuck. Man. I was going to ask, too, you got your appendix and your tonsils and shit? You lose any...
No, I got all of those.
Organs?
Kept my tonsils, kept my appendix, kept my wisdom teeth. I've got them all.
Oh, I'm a couple of wisdom teeth short now, but everything else, I'm almost Gem Mint 10. I almost got all my original parts. I'm mint on card.
I was just about to say mint on card. Shit. Yep.
Also, are you a jazz man? You enjoy jazz?
I don't know anything about jazz. If jazz is what they were playing in this episode when Bleeding Gums is playing the saxophone, then yeah, that's jaunty, but I would never sit and listen to it.
Yeah. Jazz, it's intimidating. It's like getting into jazz is like trying to get into playing craps in a casino. There's a lot going on. You don't want to look dumb. Where do you start?
Yeah. But then seems like a hard thing to get into.
Yeah. I have friends that just, some of the Coltrane albums are their favorite music ever made. It's like, really?
The closest
have you heard Thunderstruck? It's pretty fucking tight, bro.
The closest I get is I really like a lot of Chicago blues. So like, and a fair amount of ska. So I'm no stranger to the brass, but I need it to have a little more going on.
I like groove, man. I like melody. I like rhythm. I don't like just the meandering. I know that's where the art of it is, that like, you know, that there's no blueprint for jazz. You just go where you feel, you know?
Yeah, it's not my thing, I don't think. But
yeah.
But like you said, listening to the music that gets played throughout this episode, I'm like, yeah, this seems, I would probably turn this off, but only after a minute or so. I'd listen for a minute or so.
And I was wondering too, are you old enough that, well, like, when you were a kid, saxophones were considered kind of cool? They were the cool horn to play?
No, not at all. And no one like in our band in high school or elementary had a saxophone. So
that's fascinating. Like if you grew up at more in the 80s, the saxophones were cool, man. Like that's what the muscle dude in the band in Lost Boys is playing. He's playing a sax.
I was just about to say, I think the coolest the sax has ever been is in Lost Boys, right?
And that was an anomaly. Saxophones were like, Bill Clinton played a sax and he was cool for playing a sax. Like, I think they've just lost all of that now. That's so amazing to me that like saxes were easily the coolest instrument you could play. Like I mean of the horns, but there's a brief moment, I bet in the late 80s where saxophones were rivaling guitars for like cool cachet. Like,
man, that's baffling to me.
Isn't it? Yeah. I'm shocked I can't believe it's that quick of a turnaround that wasn't part of your childhood at all. Like if you were to watch a show and there was a cool cartoon cat, he would have been playing a sax at some point in time.
like Top
that was a
Cat
sign that you were
somebody
cool.
would have been playing a saxophone.
Exactly. Like, do you think it's like that with guitars now? Like to a 15-year-old, guitars are irrelevant? Like,
oh, I have no idea if that's
but
rounded that corner at all.
I think rock music is so irrelevant with your average 14-year-old that guitars probably aren't even cool.
Yeah, like I wonder, like a 10-year-old today, what instrument do they want to play if they want to play one?
A fucking sampling machine? like a laptop? I don't even know what.
I bet that wanting to play drums never is not cool. But it's just right.
I don't know, man. Do you even think they think that's cool? Like they never see live music. You know what I mean? Like. Well, the band, like if there is it's a pop star and there's a band shoved in the far back, or they're just listening to EDM stuff, man. Also, this is just two confused middle-aged guys just hollering at the wind right now.
Two childless middle-aged men trying to guess what kids
what 10-year-olds are into.
Yeah,
but this is but it's just crazy to me how irrelevant rock music seems to be with anyone under the age of 18. Like.
I'm sure most of it depends on what do your parents listen to and expose you to. And then on top of that, do you also think it's cool, or since your parents like it, is it lame?
It's lame. That's what my guess would be, yeah.
Solid questions. People who have kids should tweet at us and tell us what instrument your kid wants to play.
Yeah, it's just nuts how much, Like, I know I read somewhere that guitar sales are at their lowest in like 50 some years. Like kids just buying a guitar and learning guitar just isn't cool like it used to be. Like,
which that's baffling to me, because to me, the guitar is the cool thing. The guitar is the instrument that you want to be able to play. I can't worth a damn.
Yeah.
I definitely can't play a guitar. I can barely limp through the most basic of bass lines.
Yeah.
I've been trying to teach myself harmonica all year, and all I've managed to do is scare the cat every time I pull it out. The cat hates that harmonica more than I hate anything.
You know who else probably hates it? Your neighbors.
That's fine. I don't care what they think about me. I want my cat to like me.
Hey, Blues Traveler. I'm going to key your goddamn car. To throw that goddamn harmonica away.
Hey, John Popper, quit giving me the runaround.
Yeah. But seriously, I'm going to key your car.
Come down there and kill you and your cat.
Is that what you want?
Okay, I'll put it away. You make that train whistle noise with it one more time.
Yeah. Oh, man. R.I.P. saxophones being cool.
Yeah, I'm imagining those days are gone. So Murphy is kind of replaying his life, as it were, hitting some high points anyway. He talks about how he released one album entitled Sax on the Beach, because, of course, that's perfect. He gives Lisa his saxophone, and she goes to her music recital and kills it, and then comes back to find out that Bleeding Gums Murphy has died. We once again, with The Simpsons, have an older person kick the bucket for emotional effect, which is like the second fucking time he's been on the show and they killed him off.
Yeah, just going to say, we could have squeezed a few more appearances in.
Knowing nothing about The Simpsons, knew who Bleeding Gums Murphy is, so I'm surprised he's in the show so little. So Lisa's bummed out, of course. Everyone is awful at trying to console her. They all try, and they're all fucking bad at it.
Very much so.
Lisa goes to Murphy's funeral. She's the only one there. The Reverend Lovejoy doesn't even know his name.
Blood and Guts Murphy.
Blood and Guts Murphy, yeah. Lisa is deciding that she's going to throw a last hoorah for Murphy to make everyone remember him. She goes down to the comic book shop where he has a copy of the album because she wants to play it on the radio, the local jazz radio station, which the producer there says that they have an amperage or a coverage of 23 feet. Making them the largest jazz station in the U.S.
Yeah, so great. Yeah.
It's a great jab.
What is it like? There's a sign that says 152 Americans can't be wrong.
Yeah. And when she goes to the comic book shop, I liked this one. The record is $250, and she goes, "Come on, he just died." And the comic book guy changes it to $500.
Yep,
now that
so
he's
great.
dead, it's more expensive.
Yep.
Bart, in the meantime, gets $500 in his suit against Krusty out of the $100,000 payment that the lawyers all chewed up. Lionel Hutz and his cronies got all their money first, so Bart's left with a $500 check that's left over. And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly the price of the album. Bart buys it for her, and she plays Bleeding Gums Murphy's record on the jazz station radio, and there's no, like I said, 23 feet. No one's hearing it. But lightning comes by and strikes the tower, which amplifies the radio station to where the whole town can hear it, and that's not how radio towers work at all. But it's fine. It's a cartoon. So the whole town is vibing to the smooth jazz sounds of Bleeding Gums Murphy. They show Homer listening and Abe. They show Chief Wiggum hearing reports of a gas leak in town, and he changes it to the jazz station and vibes out before the gas leaks into his car and he blacks out. Yeah.
I am a big fan of episodes. We get one of Homer. I love when Homer's a good dad or Bart's a good sibling.
Yeah, this is one of those. It was good to see Bart do the right thing. You knew he was gonna as soon as you found out that he has 500 and she needs 500, but it still was nice. And then we get a fun moment with Ghost Murphy in the clouds, and then Ghost Mufasa from Lion King. We're back on Lion King. And Ghost Darth Vader and Ghost someone else. I forget who it is.
Yeah, I can't think.
He's doing his goodbye to Lisa and is interrupted by Mufasa and Darth Vader.
I thought the final ghost was just James Earl Jones saying this is CNN, but he's alive today, let alone in 1995.
Right, yeah, it's not him. So it's someone from CNN, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has to be like, guys, I'm doing a thing here. And then him and Lisa play some saxophone together, and that's the moment. Nice heartfelt ending to the episode.
And not huge on laughs, but it was a nice episode.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a Lisa episode, and I feel like some people like those and some people don't. I like Lisa episodes.
I do too. I like Lisa.
Yeah.
We are now up to the Springfield Connection as our final episode of today. Springfield Connection, I'm guessing a play off the French Connection.
Is that Gene Hackman?
Yep. I don't know if I've ever seen the French. It's supposed to be a banger. I know there's like a famous car chase scene in it, and there's
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I feel like I've seen the cover or the poster a bunch of times.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a movie that's kind of had a life of its own well after, because I think it's from the early 70s, if I had to guess.
That sounds right.
I think it kind of gave the world Gene Hackman, like one of his first starring roles. But what are the Simpsons doing? Why are they in the bad part of town again? They're at some kind of event, some kind of entertainment thing.
Yeah, and then they leave to go...
Yeah.
I don't remember how they end up in the bad neighborhood.
But Homer is like trying to be streetwise, like, hey, Marge, this is the bad part of town. You can't make eye contact. You got to play it cool. And then he immediately gets sucked into a game of 3-card Monte.
With Snake.
Yeah, and he loses his money. And Marge knows it's a scam, so she chases Snake down on foot. Gets into a very tight situation in an alleyway where she knocks him out with a garbage can lid and saves the day.
Which is great.
Yep. And, we do see the doctor, whatever event they're at, that we see the doctor's wife, again, makes an appearance. She's at the table with the doctor. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We don't see her very often, but there she is.
One of the hardest I laughed at any of these episodes is when Snake runs, Marge takes off after Snake. Homer attempts to run after Marge. He makes it like 7 steps. And the noises he makes from exhaustion from attempting to run, I was dying.
Yeah, he's taking real big, deep, heavy breaths and wheezing.
And we get goddamn Chief Wiggum with that black hair of his again. Someone's asleep at the wheel.
Oh, and it's such a good joke that when the cops do get there and Homer gets out of the cop car, he's still huffing and puffing, trying to catch his breath.
Oh, so great. So God, I was laughing. Is it Chief Wiggum that can't be bothered to solve a crime because he's looking at that magic eye picture?
Yep, because, a pony. Yep.
Yeah. I have never once been able to get a magic eye picture to work in my life.
Me neither. I've never seen one.
I cannot do it. I wish I could, just to see what the hubbub's about.
I just want to be part of the thing. Well, aren't you like cripplingly colorblind?
Oh yeah, my eyes are just shot in all ways.
I can't.
With all my glasses, I'm close to legally blind. I can't see colors. It's a mess. No depth perception. Wildly night blind. Like, I should not be able to allow. If it's storming at night, I can see like 5 feet in front of me. I cannot believe I'm allowed to drive a car at night when it's raining.
I was just about to say, don't tell me these things. You always drive on comedy road trips. You're not driving anymore. No, I'll drive. We'll take my car.
Yeah, it's there's been some Jesus take the wheel moments that you guys haven't witnessed because you were fast asleep.
Yeah, I am often fast asleep.
And the reason there was a Jesus take the wheel moment is because I was probably fast asleep.
Fuck, don't tell me any of this. I like to look back on all the fun comedy road trips we've had, not all the times I barely evaded death.
Where I'm so sleepy, I hit the rumble strip, and I don't even know what side I'm hitting it on. Am I fucking up, or am I really fucking up?
Am I fucked or double fucked? Are we dead?
I remember driving to a show, one of the first paid gigs I ever got, driving to a show in Minot, and it was snowing so hard, I was hitting the rumble strip, and I literally couldn't tell. That's how white out it was.
Jesus.
That was very terrifying. I finally had to drive almost by feel. I kind of learned to feel which rumble strip I was hitting. Okay, that's passenger side. That's acceptable.
Holy shit.
Yep.
I wasn't alone on that one.
Yeah, I was so white knuckle. I remember the place we were doing the show didn't have a full liquor license. They didn't have booze. I said nope, and I just walked. We had 3 minutes to showtime, and I was opening. I walked to the closest bar where I could get whiskey, and I pounded fucking 3 or 4 shots of whiskey, chased it with a tap beer, and went right over there and told fucking knock-knock jokes for fucking 25 minutes.
The things we'll do for $100.
Showbiz.
Yeah, it's showbiz, baby.
Yeah.
Out here
So-
under the bright lights.
Yeah. Marge is enthralled. She got a taste of the adrenaline that is busting perps, and she needs it. She's trying to find all these different ways to kind of get a little, get that spice back in her life, and she realizes she's got to be a cop. She needs that in her life.
I love that she's just bored now. Like, everything. Like, when they show her in the store pick up a can of ham and is just like, it doesn't do it anymore. I have to get deviled ham off the other shelf.
So
Holy
great.
Shit.
Another great gag is when she goes into the cop shop to ask about being a cop, and they just sit there and laugh in her face. And then it's like, they get done. Okay, yeah, you can start next week.
Yeah.
And she's a very good cop, which is totally doesn't fit in with the rest of the squad because they are all very lazy and very inept.
Yeah. A bunch of idiots.
And Homer starts taking advantage of the fact that his wife is a cop by kind of pressing his luck. The straw that breaks the camel's back is when he's triple parked through 3 handicap parking spots. And when Marge calls him on, it's like, just chill out, Marge. I'm just buying beer for those kids.
Yeah, and the
like
bullies.
the 3 juvenile delinquents wave from the alleyway. When is the last time you bought beer for someone underage? That shows how old a guy's getting.
Never.
I hope you say earlier today.
No, I honestly never have, because by the time I was old enough to buy beer, I did, like, unlike you, I don't have a lot of friends who are younger than me. Most of my friends are older than me, so I was, like, never in that scenario.
Yeah. See, I had roommates. As soon as I turned 21, I had a couple roommates that were 20, so I was like, I'm fucking buying booze all the time. And I remember, like, as a child, which is so weird to say, but we were children, like, asking random grown men in the parking lot of liquor stores, am I going to get me a case of beer? And I would just be heartbroken when they, like it was somehow an indictment on my personality is the only reason they weren't. Like, if you were cool, I would. But, like, if a 16-year-old came up to me and, like I would just laugh. I'd just be dumbfounded. Like, what? No. I'm not going to do it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, but at that, I just thought they would like, oh, I bet if that was cool, they would. like that doesn't cross a 40-year-old's mind. If it does, they need help.
Right, it's their problem if they're putting cool judgments on a teenager.
I used to take pride in how good I was, how many different crafty ways I had of getting someone to buy booze for me. Because, I don't know, again, not a popular kid so much, and not a girl. That takes a lot of it out. There's plenty of sad sack 21-year-olds that'll buy a pretty 17-year-old booze.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yep. But
I was never a pretty 17-year-old.
No,
so
yeah.
I somehow lucked out and was never the one who had to procure alcohol. Like, all the drinking we got done, I don't know where they were getting it from, but my buddies always had it, you know? Like,
interesting.
I never had to shoulder tap the fucking janitor or something and be like, hey, can you buy us alcohol?
And it was insane pre-cell phone days because you had to get all this shit done by like 9 or they're in the bar and you can't go in the bar.
And then you're fucked.
And you can't text them. There's no texting. Like, it was a race against the clock. And still at this point, Marge hasn't arrested Homer, but Homer decides to take it up a notch. He steals Marge's hat, and God, I was so begging for her to tase him. Please tase Homer.
Or pepper spray. Hell,
spray him.
I'd have been fine with her shooting Homer at that
point. Yeah, just get him in the thigh. He's gonna live. Just get him in the thigh. Let him know who's in charge.
Below the knee, escape the attempted murder charge.
Pro-police violence. if Homer is the victim of it.
Yeah, as long as Homer has it coming, which he definitely does.
Certainly
in this scene.
does. Yeah.
Holy shit, he's being a dick.
And then this is the scene where it comes up where Marge, now that she's a cop, she makes Bart wear all that protective gear.
Yep, which is so good.
Counterproductive because he ends up just taking endless ass kickings from the bullies. Like,
Yeah, they showed Jimbo just like punching him, being like, thanks to all this padding, I can punch all day, and just keep slugging him.
And this is going to go back to two more middle-aged men, childless middle-aged men talking about kids, but I bet we've reached a point now where wearing a bike helmet isn't like going to ruin your life as a kid, right?
No, I'll bet that most kids probably wear bike helmets.
I wonder when that finally, because I do remember bike helmets becoming a thing that were mentioned, but it was just laugh them out of the room. Like, I will hit myself in the head with a ball peen hammer right in front of you before I would wear a bike helmet. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I bet now, that's 30 years ago. So I bet now it's, you're a kid, you ride it. It'd be like riding a motorcycle when you're 12 years old and not having a helmet,
Yeah, I mean, like, today, if I see someone riding a motorcycle with no helmet, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. But then I turn around and at the same time look at some fucking hoity-toity equestrian riding a horse with a helmet on, and I'm like, you nerd, the fuck are you doing? Like, but when, frankly, it's probably also a good thing to be wearing there.
Yeah. But, totally. Yeah.
Like, you grow up with horses out in the country, and it's like all those high-socked motherfuckers aren't our kind of horse people anyway.
Wearing pantaloons.
Yeah, exactly. With their stupid little jackets, making their horses jump over little fences. Fuck you. Yeah.
The horse already has stirrup. Your pants don't also need stirrups. It's too many stirrups. Get your weird sock garters on.
Fucking weird pant turducken you're making with these garments.
Yeah.
Tucking your pants into your boots. Get out of my country.
Yeah. What are we doing here? So Marge does arrest Homer for being a piece of shit. And during this whole time, they've been having poker nights at the Simpson house because Marge is out on patrol. And shady-ass fucking Herman, the gun store owner, is always going to the garage. They assume to smoke or use the bathroom or something like that. And it turns out he is running a gene counterfeiting operation in the Simpsons garage, which is a great side hustle.
Yep, selling counterfeit jeans.
Selling that shady denim.
Everyone needs a side hustle. He's probably not making much down at the Army surplus joint, so.
Yeah. And Homer wanders into it. There's some great sight gags, or like he's trying to escape, not so fast. So he just slows down his escape. I mean, completely stop.
Yeah.
Since Homer is seconds away from getting shot, right then and there, Marge bursts in. So now we have a whole scenario. We got a cop. We got Herman. We got Herman's money men, like the jeans, like the regional
the
gene
buyers.
Counterfeiting people.
Yeah.
And it all, Herman takes Homer captive, and which in a baffling move ends up going into the treehouse. I don't know if you know how treehouses work, Herman. There's no escape.
Yep, a tiny enclosed space with no escape.
This is really, are you going to murder-suicide yourself? This is just counterfeit denim, man. You're going to plead that down. You're going to do like 9 months in county. You don't have to punch out for this, man.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fucking fugitive here. Relax.
Yeah. And I love that Herman makes an escape by using a pair of the jeans to slide away to freedom. And Marge is really casual about not stopping him, but then the jeans rip, and Marge knew what would happen because as the mother of two rambunctious kids and the wife of a full-seated husband, I knew that denim wouldn't withstand that.
Yeah, like I know shoddy stitching when I see it.
Yeah, a full-seated husband is so great.
There's something about the phrase "full-seated" to describe Homer's huge ass is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, so great.
And then it turns out the cops are all corrupt, and they're all taking the jeans and wearing them. And Marge is like, there's too much corruption, and quits.
Yep, totally. I love that. Yeah, that's what did it. It wasn't the fact that she sees the cops being garbage from the word go, but no, letting them off because they got their hands on some counterfeit Levi's. That was the last straw. But hey, I don't know. After I got a quick look at Chief Wiggum in a pair of those form-fitting jeans. I was like, daddy-like.
Those were tight jeans all around. I noticed
those
that too.
Very tight jeans.
God damn.
I don't think the Simpsons animation lends itself to loose clothing well.
Nope, everyone's pretty tight. Pretty tight. I love earlier in this episode when they show Homer in jail. In the cell next to him is Hans Molman getting read his last rites.
Yeah.
And then they Green Mile walk him to the chair. Yeah. Like, I don't understand what's happening to Hans Molman.
Are you supposed to do this in a county jail? Be better if you didn't talk.
Yeah, they don't touch on it again. They just are leading him down the hallway to the chair. I hope we come back to that in a later episode.
I agree. So good. Yeah, and he just still goes along with it because he's Hans Molman.
Yeah.
I guess this is how I go.
God, he's great. I've grown to really appreciate Hans Molman a lot.
I love his appearances. Yep.
Yeah, it's the voice for me. It's the like he's.
I need the biggest seed bell you have. No, that's too big.
He always seems confused and like mildly in pain.
Yep, mildly in pain. He is always in some form of like unpleasant inflammation, like a body-wide inflammation.
Oh God, it's so good. Good batch this time around. I enjoyed these ones quite a bit.
They were fun.
I am looking ahead to our next batch and sort of a cultural milestone in The Simpsons. Next week, among the 5 that we will watch, we are going to watch the Who Shot Mr. Burns episodes.
Ooh, yes.
Which I remember being quite the thing at the time.
And it worked out nice that we're going to get the season finale and the season 7 premiere where we get to the bottom of Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Yeah, because they left you on a full hiatus spanning cliffhanger.
Like a 5-month cliffhanger, yeah.
Which is a hell of a move. That's ballsy on their part.
Yeah.
But we will get to watch them both next week. The episodes for next week are season 6 episodes 24 and 25, and then season 7 episodes 1 through 3.
Come watch The Simpsons with us.
Did you end up getting a deer? We need to update people on your hunting status.
I did. The last night of deer season, tags were filled, meat was cut from bone, meat was put into garbage sacks and mixed with with low-grade ham to make some sausage. Or I guess it'd be low-grade pork, wouldn't necessarily be ham.
I was about to say probably not ham.
Yeah, we'd be using lesser cuts. So yeah,
right on.
I think
good work.
Probably in a couple Sundays from now, we'll be able to get be able to give you a taste test on how the deer sausage turned out.
Perfect. Taste the fruits of your labor.
It'll be one of our most delicious podcasts yet.
And we are coming fresh off of Thanksgiving. I assume you, as did I, went hard in the paint.
I actually did not. I stuck very good with my diet. I ate a lot of turkey, and I had a lot of green beans. That was about it.
Wow, look at you.
I want the beach body. I need the lower V. I need that V body. I want the abs cutting into the genitals.
That's those weird connective muscles between the base of your dick and your hip bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any day now, I'm sure they'll
really
be
working
through.
on them. Little weird specific exercises to get them yoked.
Oh God. Yeah, well, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
I went hard. And I knew I was going to. It wasn't an accident. I was planning to swing for the fences on Thanksgiving, and I did.
Sometimes you just need to be a dirty little pumpkin pie boy.
I filled myself with so much stuffing. It was graphic.
Oh boy, I like stuffing. God damn it. I've often found Thanksgiving meal to be somewhat overrated, but God, stuffing's a fucking baller.
Yeah, to me, stuffing is the star of the show. Like, turkey gets its name on the marquee, but I'm here for the stuffing.
it's hot takes like that makes me realize why this podcast is a success.
Mm-hmm. It's like
there are the differences. There are many, but the things we agree on, God damn it, I will take a bullet for some good stuffing.
Absolutely, right in the neck. Like, bring it on. It's just because something else gets the headline doesn't mean it's the best one.
Oh my God!
Michael Jackson was the star. Prince was always the better musician.
I would eat a plate with just stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. I could just shovel that down my dumb head.
Yeah, absolutely. I will roll up stuffing into a ball and just cram it down my throat and wash it down with gravy.
Man, now I'm getting a food boner. Well, what a way to end the podcast.
All right. Well, Nathan and his food boner need to go. They got to take care of some things. One more time for next week. Season 6, episodes 24 and 25. Season 7, episodes 1 through 3. And everyone enjoy themselves. Find us on Twitter at BarleyBasketUSA. Email is barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. Enjoy your food boner, Nathan.
I'll do my best.
See you next week, everybody.
See everyone.